Alright, what's up, guys? This is a week 2 video. Jamie Johnson's here. Special thank you. Alright, we're going to go over the games. Alright, Austin versus Skevil is the first game we're going to talk about. Austin, you got Carson Palmer against Chicago. I don't think that's a good matchup for Palmer. Chicago's defense isn't anything, as we saw. Jeremy Hill versus San Diego. I think that could be a good matchup. Defense ain't that... They're okay. Their secondary is more their powerhouse for San Diego. Jeremy Hill should light it up. Alfred Morris versus St. Louis. I don't think that's a good matchup at all.
No.
That defense lit it up against Marshawn last week, and Alfred Morris in Washington, I don't see him doing very well. Jordan Matthews against Dallas this week. Gonna be a good game. I think Matthews can have a hit or miss game. Did decent against Atlanta. He missed a pass at the end of the game. That was a big factor. Devontae Adams versus Seattle. He's on Green Bay. I mean, I don't know why Austin's blown up on him because he really didn't do shit last week against the Bears. Probably the only person that didn't do anything against the Bears. Aaron Rodgers likes to spread the ball around, as we saw. And, I mean, he can have a good game because he's with Aaron Rodgers, but if he even gets the ball is the problem. So you got James Jones, Randall Cobb, Again, he likes to spread the ball around. Next, we got Delaney Walker. Jamie told me earlier he did get a touchdown last week. I did kind of criticize him about inconsistent, but Jamie has also told me that he's injured.
Yeah.
So we'll see how consistent he is. But he is going against Cleveland, so we'll see how he does. Could be a good matchup. Could be another bust game for him. We got Crowell versus Tennessee. He could do well. He didn't really do anything in last week. Johnny did okay, but the offense is all messed up. You got Miami defense versus Jacksonville. I think that's an obvious. Should be pretty solid. Jacksonville blows cock. So, I mean, you got some pretty good matchups for you, Austin. But here's Skevil. Here's Jamie's turn.
All right, Skevil. All right. Congratulations on beating the guy with the best record last year. So
Shit.
start out doing that. All right, Andrew Luck against the New York Jets. Luck had a mediocre week last week. He's usually not like him, so I see him bouncing back this week against the Jets. They have a decent secondary. I mean, you got Revis Island and shit, but, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Eddie Lacy against the Seattle Seahawks. Lacy's Lacy, but then the Seattle Seahawks are Seattle, so I see him scoring maybe 10 points or under.
Mm-hmm.
Ivory against Indy. Ivory had a great week last week, which pissed me off a lot. He usually doesn't do that.
No, that was a pretty good game for him.
Yeah, so, can he keep it up? I don't know. Brandon Marshall against Indy.
He had a good game.
He had a good game. He caught a touchdown pass. Do I think he'll catch a touchdown pass every week? No. And do I think he's a good number 2 receiver? Not really. Maybe a flex option.
Wow.
And then you got Allen Robinson.
Jacksonville.
On the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nobody likes Jacksonville, first of all, so bad choice on you, Skevil.
Could put someone else better there.
Yeah. You got Tyler Eifert. He did blow up last week. People were saying in camp he was uncoverable, and I guess he is. So great for you, Skev. You got a great tight end. Joseph Randall, Dallas Cowboys is going against
Atlanta. What's it? Atlanta. ATL.
Is he? Yeah. No.
Oh, wait.
The Cowboys are going against. Okay, so excuse me.
They're going against Philadelphia.
That's Ruben Randall. Excuse me, because you did play me last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Ruben Randall and the whole Giants offense did look a little sluggish. We'll see how they do, but Ruben Randall is a flex. Not really looking forward to it.
If you like it, stay consistent.
Yeah. Buffalo's D against New England. I really don't care about defenses. You just whatever. So, all right, the pick on that.
The computer picked Austin. It's going to be a close game. It picked Austin by 1 point, I think. I have to relook at it. I am going to choose Austin, but it's going to be a close game. What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, it'll be close. It just depends if Skevo's players play up to their potential.
Mm-hmm.
And, you do have a couple questionables. I think Austin's team is pretty all-around solid, so I'm going to get Austin on this one.
All right, cool.
All right, the next matchup is actually Jacob versus Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
And let Ron take Jacob's team real fast.
All right, we got Hazy. He's got Manning versus Kansas City. Manning, as we saw, as I talked about last week, he did decline in his play. So, we'll see how he does against a very good, very revamped Kansas City defense. Eric Berry, Justin Houston, Tom Bahali, they're crazy. So, they did get to the quarterback last week on Manning. Who did they play? The Ravens. So, we'll see how they do this week on a better defense. So, Frank Gore. Frank Gore's not doing anything this year. Jamie alluded to me that they're saving him for the playoffs, that they can even get there. They didn't even beat the Bills. So
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
I don't think Frank Gore's going to do anything for you, Hazy. Sorry. Rashard Jennings, he's garbage. He did decent against...
Garbage.
He did decent against Dallas. He got in a red zone touchdown. I think almost every running back can do that almost.
Yeah.
A bigger size guy like him, but Rashard Jennings will do nothing against Atlanta. So.
He's like 30, and he only has 18 career rushing touchdowns.
So we'll
My
see.
God.
We'll see how that even goes. Demaryius Thomas, his play will reflect Peyton Manning. He's going against Kansas City. Good corners, good DBs, good defense. So if Peyton Manning can put it where he needs to go, he will blow up. We will see. Doug Baldwin versus Green Bay. That's hit or miss with Russell Wilson. He also spreads the ball around. Also, they run the ball a lot. Doug Baldwin, hit or miss versus Green Bay. Jimmy Graham, they should target him more. He did get a touchdown last week, so that is good for him and his points. Will it happen again? We don't know. Green Bay's defense, a couple of linebackers got hurt, I remember. We'll see. Jimmy Graham, so they'll probably target him a lot, so we'll see. Again, they run the ball a lot in Seattle. D'Angelo Williams did very good in his debut on the Pittsburgh.
This is the last week you can use him, by the way.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah. So I expect a good game against the 49ers for him. So I think that's a good flex for you. And you have
But the 49ers did stop AP
yeah, well,
Monday, so I don't know.
that is a good point. And you have New York Jets defense versus Indianapolis. And I think that their front seven's almost as good as the Bills and the St. Louis. So I think got a pretty good matchup there against Indy, who again didn't do anything. And for Timmy's team.
All right, Timmy. All right, you got Drew Brees. He played pretty mediocre last week, just like Andrew Luck did. But, I mean, obviously he's going to bounce back against Tampa Bay. Shitty defense. If Marcus Mariota can go off, Drew Brees certainly can. Jonathan Stewart, I really didn't see how he did. He's probably just mediocre
He's
at
never
best.
done anything, so.
Probably like 9-10 points out of him, maybe even less. Tevin Coleman, actually, I saw that game. He played really well.
Did he? I didn't watch it.
He played really well. I liked it, but they still do have a running back by committee.
Okay.
So, I mean, once again, it can be hit or miss against the Giants. Antonio Brown, great start every week. He's a stud, so whatever. Looks like you got Tavon Austin.
He blew it up last week.
Wait, no.
That's Tavon Austin.
That's Tavon Austin?
Yeah.
You know what? He did pretty solid. He had, I think a rushing touchdown. They're incorporating him in the backfield and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That could be good. That could be bad. I mean, he could go
I
off.
think he's going to be doing good this
I think he's going to be hit or miss the whole year. I mean, we'll see. Rob Gronkowski. Okay.
We'll skip him. We know Gronk's Gronk. We know.
Eric Decker against Indy. I believe he caught a touchdown last week.
He did catch a touchdown.
I mean, we'll see how it goes if he can keep that up.
I kind of like what Kess said. He's more like a red zone target.
Yeah, he'll be a red zone guy, but I mean, then again, they have Brandon Marshall on the other side, so I think they'll both be alternating touchdowns every week.
Okay.
And then, once again, I really don't care about defensive, but Baltimore versus, it looks like they're playing Oakland. Yeah. Oakland's pretty piss poor already. I mean, it's only been the first week, but yeah, so our picks on that, I'm going to go with, Jacob. I mean, it depends if Manning can get Demaryius Thomas.
Manning's going to be your difference maker.
Yeah, so if Manning can play up to, his potential, I see you kind of creeping in there. But, I mean, I'm honest, I'm liking Timmy's team this week.
I also picked Timmy along with the computer. So, we'll move on to the next game.
All right, so the next game is Pat versus Pagan.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about Pagan's team real fast. Tom Brady against Buffalo. Tom Brady went off last week against Buffalo. They're a little harder secondary in my opinion, but I think it's Tom Brady, so he'll do good. Trey Mason. To be honest, I don't think he really did good last week, but we'll see. Todd Gurley may even come back
if
this
he comes back.
And once again, you have Todd Gurley. So
Cunningham played a lot that game too.
Yeah, so it might even be a running back by committee.
Probably.
DeMarco Murray did good.
Could have
been better. He had 2 touchdowns. Now Ryan Matthews also had 1 touchdown, and Darren Sproles had, I think, a touchdown. So that's almost like a 3-headed monster out there. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see how that goes. AJ Green, stud. He had an off week last week. I think he'll bounce back. Emmanuel Sanders against Kansas City. Once again, we go back to that point. Can Peyton Manning throw the ball? You picked up that 1 tight end on San Diego.
I have no idea who that is.
He scored 2 touchdowns. Now, is it a fluke? I don't know. Phillip Rivers is looking kind of sharp. I mean, you'll have him until Antonio Gates comes back. Yeehaw. I mean, will he do good? We don't know. Vincent Jackson. I do not like Vincent Jackson at all. I don't think at this point in the anybody's opinions on Vincent Jackson, we like him.
Right.
I don't even know how he did last week. I didn't even keep up with him. And then we got Seattle's D against Green Bay. Once again, I really don't care about defenses, but, I mean, you're going against a high-powered offense with Green Bay. So, Ron's got Pat's team.
All right, Pat, you won. Congrats. That was a pretty good win by you.
Yeah, congrats, Pat.
Your one message in the group me was awesome as well. I don't even know if you're going to see this, but, Pat, you got Wilson versus Green Bay. That's going to be tough. They actually did pretty good rushing against the Bears. Granted, Seahawks are better than the Bears. Mark Ingram did pretty well in his game last week going against Tampa Bay. I see him doing well again. Doug Martin, I actually don't really know how he did last week, to be completely honest, but he's going against New Orleans. Their defense isn't... I can see him bouncing back from that pretty bad loss they had last week. Julio Jones against the Giants.
Start him.
Yeah, he's going to do pretty damn good.
Best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, and the Giants didn't do very good stopping the pass. Golden Tate versus Minnesota. I mean, I could see it doing well, but Detroit didn't do very good. Neither did Megatron and Golden Tate.
Yeah, all the receivers on Detroit they didn't do good. So we'll see if Stafford can get him the fucking ball.
Right. So he could do good. He could not. Jordan Cameron versus Jacksonville. We'll just give him the nod. Jacksonville blows.
Yep.
Roddy White. Again, you already have Julio Jones, so you have the 1 and 2 on the same team. So I mean, Julio Jones did have a decent game. He spread the ball around. So if he gets a couple more passes, maybe he'll get a touchdown. Julio does, and they both will. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I can see that being hit or miss, but he had a pretty good week last week. You have Houston defense versus Carolina. I mean, Carolina. I mean, I think they could do good, but you got Cam Newton. He can run the ball. They didn't really stop. I mean, I don't really see it as a good matchup for you for Houston defense. So, I have to say I picked Pagan in this game. The computer also has Pagan by 1 point. So Pat could pull the upset according to the computer again. Make it 2 weeks in a row. What do you think?
Now, Pat, I like the upset last week. I think you won by a couple points. Honestly, Pat, I'm liking your team. I just think you need to change the flex, to be honest. I'm not trying to give you advice, but Danny Woodhead on your bench, I think, scored 18 points. So if you could switch up fucking Roddy White, then I think you'll be golden against Pagan, actually. I'm liking it. So Pat's going to upset Pagan.
Oh, wow. He's calling it. All right, here we go.
All right, so the next game we got Kess versus Gay Kyle. I'll do Gay Kyle real fast. Your team, Ryan Tannehill against Jacksonville. It's against Jacksonville. I believe Tannehill is going to have a good game. C.J. Anderson. Now he is kind of hurt.
I do not like him.
I don't really like Denver's running style. I know this hasn't been talked about, but I mean, they one slip up by C.J. Anderson. Ronnie Hillman's in. So good luck staying with that the whole season.
He does have Le'Veon Bell.
Well, yeah, okay. But for a number 2, we'll see how it goes.
Right.
Joseph Randle on the Cowboys.
He did decent, but Dunbar played a lot.
Yeah, Dunbar played a lot and did good. Run DMC also played a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Mike Evans against New Orleans. I don't really know how he did last week. I didn't hear anything about him, so he might even be injured for all I know. I guess whatever. If he scores, he scores. Julian Edelman against Buffalo. He was a PPR monster. I know we don't play in that kind of league, but he's going to be getting yards and a lot of catches. I see him catching actually a touchdown this week.
Kelsey.
And Kelsey went off. I mean, a lot of people were saying he was one of the better tight ends coming in the preseason, and he did show it. Denver, I get a repeat performance. Maybe not 2 touchdowns, maybe a touchdown, and he get 15 points. C.J. Spiller, is he even going to play this week? I don't know. Mark Ingram handled the workload pretty good last week against Tampa Bay, though. I mean, we'll see how it goes. And then New England D against Buffalo. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Sean McCoy and all of them, they've been pretty good. I mean, they went off on Indy. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. I pick Kyle to win this one. Gay Kyle.
You forgot Kess.
Oh, I didn't talk about Kess. I'm sorry. My bad. Just trying to make sure on this video up. Eli Manning versus Atlanta. Hit or miss. Eli's got to be more consistent. I like him, but consistency kills me with him. Adrian Peterson, he will bounce back versus Detroit. He will bounce back, so that's a good matchup there. Yeah. Justin Forsett versus Oakland. I think that's a set. Self-explanatory. Yeah. Randall Cobb, like I've alluded to earlier. Rodgers spreads the ball. Cobb gets the ball. He can make plays happen. We'll see how often he gets the ball. Alshon Jeffrey, I love the Bears. He's going to get shut down by Arizona.
Yeah,
you got the Badger, Patrick Peterson, done. Jordan Reed on Redskins versus St. Louis. He had a touchdown last week. St. Louis defense, they're going to shut him down. I'm sorry.
We'll see how it goes.
Bishop Sankey, he actually blew up. I can see him doing that again versus Cleveland. That offense is revamped. I can see a repeat with that. Denver versus Kansas City. Denver's defense has improved from last year. I can see that being a very good game versus a average, maybe a little bit above average Kansas City offense. So I like your matchup with Denver. I think I'm going to pick Kess on this matchup. And the computer... Actually, yeah, the computer picks Kess, and I also do pick Kess. No, hold on. Yeah, I pick Kess on this one. Jamie, what do you think?
Just going over it real fast. I'm gonna have to say Kess too. Kess has the better players. Kyle, some of your players are iffy, very iffy. So I think it's Kess pulling out this week.
All right.
All right, so the next game we got is actually me versus Jonathan. I will go over Jonathan's team. Aaron Rodgers, a stud. We can't really go, any different. But he is facing the Legion of Boom without Cam Chancellor. I still think Aaron Rodgers gets you a good amount of points. Matt Forte in this new offense is really doing good. So I can see him being a top 5 back
That
this
Arizona
year.
defense is good.
Yeah, the Arizona defense is good. But, this Bears offense is looking pretty good too. Carlos Hyde. I watched that game. Phenomenal. He is phenomenal. I would start him every week. We got DeAndre Hopkins, caught 2 touchdowns. Iffy quarterbacks, though.
Ryan Mallett's I think he's gonna do well. Mallett. They're switching this week.
We'll see. If he can get him the ball every week, it'll be up and down. But against Carolina, he should get a good amount of points for you. James Jones against Seattle. He went off last week. Will he be hit or miss every week? I don't know.
Spread the ball, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Legion of Boom. So he might do all right. Heath Miller. He did all right for the Big Ben's first game. They're facing San Fran, and the defense doesn't look as bad as a lot of people think. I can see him putting up a decent amount of points, maybe like 5-6 average. LeGarrette Blount.
First game back.
I
don't think he's gonna do anything.
I don't think he's gonna do much. That one guy, Dion Lewis or whatever, he might take.
He did pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well. A lot of reps will be taken away from him.
Buffalo defense as well.
Yeah, and it's against Buffalo defense, which is kind of, solid with Rex Ryan there. And I won't even do the defense, but here's where I'm talking about my team.
All right, Jamie, you had a pretty good game last week, to be honest. Your schedule just came up short.
Yep.
Matt Ryan, I think he can do well versus that Giants defense. You have to look out for DRC, Rogers Cromartie. He did pretty well. You got McCoy versus New England. I think McCoy could blow up this game. New England's defense, they don't do anything for me. They got 2 good linebackers, and that's about it. Melvin Gordon, I think he can bounce back versus Cincinnati, although Cincinnati's defense is very good. Odell Beckham versus Atlanta. I can see if Eli could be consistent, and get him the ball, and I think if Victor Cruz, I don't know if he's coming back or not, but if he comes,
not this week.
Then you know what? We'll see how he does. He can. If it all relies on Eli for Odell Beckham. Brandon Cooks.
Hopefully he'll bounce back. He's supposed to be a breakout star, so
we'll see how that goes. He's going against Tampa Bay, so he should do good with Drew Brees. Martellus Bennett versus Arizona. As good as Martellus Bennett is, he needs to take it to the next step. But Arizona's defense, very good. Keenan Allen, he blew up last week. I can see him getting more and more receptions in a game. And Jamie has Kansas City's defense versus Denver, and I like that matchup a lot. That is a very good defense against an offense we're still trying to figure out. So, in this game, I picked Jamie. I picked Jamie to win this game. The computer has Seha. I'm sure Jamie picks himself to win.
No, I actually picked Jonathan this week.
Wow.
I just love Carlos Hyde and Matt Forte and Aaron Rodgers. Those 3 guys, I think, can solely win you a lot of games this year. So, I picked Jonathan.
All right, we'll try to wrap this up here. Last game. It's myself versus Mitch. All right, I'll talk about Mitch. Mitch, you got Big Ben versus San Francisco. I think that's a very good matchup. Big Ben, Big Ben. He's gonna spread the ball around and get that ball to Antonio Brown, elude all those pass rushers. Jamal Charles versus Denver. I can see Jamal breaking out, or I can see him being stuffed. Denver's defense has gotten very bad. It's very improved. Lamar Miller versus Jacksonville. He's going against Jacksonville. He's going to do good. Calvin Johnson. He didn't do anything last week. That whole offense just took a shit. But he's going against Minnesota, so I could see a bounce back for Calvin Johnson. He is the best in the NFL. So, Amari Cooper, I could see him bouncing back against Baltimore. His head still doesn't hurt from Pac-Man. Jesus. Greg Olsen versus Houston. I could see him doing very well against Houston. Latavius Murray, I believe that's going against Baltimore. I don't like him at all. I don't even know who he is. Last year, I don't even remember him. Nothing.
He had one breakout game.
I don't know him. And if you notice, Marcel Reese, the fullback got 2 touchdowns last week. And you're starting him.
The game was way out of hand, but...
Yes. Same thing, though. Still. I would find someone better if I were you, Mitch. And you got St. Louis defense versus Washington. That's a great matchup for you. I expect you to get a lot of points for that. All right, Jamie, here you go.
All right, we got Ron starting Mariota. I mean, can he repeat the performance of rookie? I mean, he looked pretty sharp, but I don't know. He's going against Cleveland, mediocre defense. I see
Should do
him
good.
putting up a couple touchdowns. Maybe not the surprising performance he did last time. TJ Yeldon against Miami. I don't trust anybody on Jacksonville like we've been talking about.
He did all right.
He did all right. I think he had like 9 points or something,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
maybe
it's
even
Jacksonville.
less. I mean, Marshawn Lynch against Green Bay. I'm liking that. You know, I mean, Green Bay's defense.
They didn't stop Forte.
They didn't stop Forte.
And I think Marshawn's a little bit better.
Yeah,
back
Marshawn's a little better than that. Their offensive line is a little better than Chicago's too. So, I think Lynch puts up some good points. Anquan Bolden against Pittsburgh. You know, Ron's team is just depleted at this point.
That's the best I can do.
Yeah, Anquan Bolden against Pittsburgh. I mean, Kaepernick barely threw the ball. I think he had like 160 yards, but that's
Yeah,
because
they did.
Hyde is one of the best running backs after week 1. I mean, will he hold that position? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, will they throw it much? I don't know. Garcon, one of my
Scrapping
one
at
of my
this point.
scrap.
I'm scrapping at this
pickups.
point.
Garcon did though. He did catch some passes. I mean, he got a lot of looks. So he's going against St. Louis. St. Louis
Yeah,
has
it's
a pretty
not
good defense. Can Washington's shitty line hold Kirk Cousins to get Garcon the ball? Probably not.
And Deshaun is out. I forgot about Deshaun.
Deshaun is out, so
Forgot
he'll
about
be the
that.
number 1. But I mean, he may not even do shit. Jason Witten, 2 touchdowns last week. He looked pretty solid. Now Des Bryant's out. Jason Witten might be the first look for Tony Romo in a lot of red zone situations.
Yes.
He's going against Philly. I mean, they don't really have that good of a defense. Chris Johnson is now the new number 1 because Pagan's Andre Ellington couldn't even last the first game. So he has a PCL sprain. Supposedly it'll put him out 2 to 3 weeks. Chris Johnson's the man in Arizona. He's going against Chicago's shitty defense. I see him doing well. And Arizona against Chicago should do pretty good. I mean, we all Bears fans hope it doesn't, but I think Arizona will do good. My pick this week is at Mitch. I mean, he just got the better team. Ron's team is depleted. I think Mitch takes it.
Yeah, the computer picks Mitch, I pick Mitch, and hashtag early drafts. Or later drafts, excuse me. All right, we're gonna go over all these teams. Mitch is gonna beat me. I have everyone picks Mitch to win versus me.
Yeah.
I have Jamie to beat Seha Computer, and Jamie picks
I
Seha.
have Jonathan.
Kess versus Kyle. I picked Kess, I believe. Who would you pick?
I picked Kess too. Kess
Okay.
wins this one.
Next game we got Pagan versus Pat. I picked Pagan. Jamie picked the upset.
I'm gonna pick Pat on this upset again.
I love it.
Pat.
I love the optimism. All right. Hazy versus Timmy. I picked Timmy. I think. Did you pick Timmy as well?
Yeah, I picked Timmy. It just depends though.
clean
Can Manning get
Manning's the key. for
Demarius
Hazy.
Thomas?
Yes.
Yeah, the ball.
Austin versus Skevo. I pick Austin.
Yeah, I think I went with Austin too. He just has the better lineup. I mean,
Got some better matchups.
Yeah, can
Yeah,
Skevo's team perform to their potential, and he does have a little iffy guys, but I think Austin takes this one.
All right, guys. That's week 2. So until next week.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
man.
no problem. Man. All right. Thanks, guys.